Hello, my name is Isabella Castillo. Today we are going to talk a little bit about emotional intelligence and why it's so important to understand ourselves and also understand others. Okay, so we are going to start talking about what emotional intelligence is understanding ourselves, understanding how we work, what we feel, and also understanding how our actions impact others and recognizing that others also have feelings. The best way to do this is with the Daniel Goleman's model, which describes four of the core skills that help us identify our level of emotional intelligence and understanding how we act and how our actions are going to impact others. First of all, I did a test with the Global Leadership Foundation, and we find out that my relationship management was very good. My self-awareness was, almost very good, but my self and my social awareness were not as good as the other ones. Still proficient, but there is some room for improvement for this. So let's have a look about my opinion about this test. I agree with my result in the relationship management and disagree with my result in my social awareness. After reading the results, I had to do some research since even if my overall was positive, I thought one of my strengths was the self-awareness, but until I did my research, I did understand the reason why I was not as good in it. I feel that I'm proficient in my relationship management. It is very easy for me to get along with new people, but it's hard for me to keep that relationships and start building meaningful bonds with them. That's why I disagree with my social awareness skill, because I know there should be a lot of room for improvement there. Okay, I expected to have a very good result in the overall of the test, as well as my relationship management, as it seems that people usually enjoy a lot about my company, and well, I'm very good relating with others. On the other hand, I was surprised of having my self-awareness in a lower rate and my social awareness in a higher rate, since I'm very good with my self-esteem. I think it's very high, but I'm always looking for some room for having some improvement. And my social awareness, I believe it's very poor. And well, let's have a look at the reason why. Let's start with the self-awareness. As mentioned by Stein in 2013, it is the ability to recognize and understand our emotions, not only about being aware of what we feel, but also the reason why those emotions arise and the result of those emotions in our actions. I would say a person with self-awareness is someone who is aware of their strengths and weaknesses, understands its emotions, and recognizes how its actions are going to impact others. Some of the competencies are emotional self-awareness, accurate self-awareness, and self-confidence. Since my self-esteem is very high, I thought my self-awareness was overall good, but I'm conscious that really I'm just aware of my strengths, and it's hard for me to recognize my weaknesses because a lot of the time I let my ego blind my sight and I'm not able to recognize my mistakes. So there is certainly a lot of room for improvement in this quadrant. For example, when I'm working and let's say any of my team members makes a mistake, I cannot stop having negative feelings and thoughts about it. Even if it's something that is not affecting me directly or affecting my job, I definitely have those negative feelings that I cannot stop. I have a great self-confidence, but I have to keep working on my emotional self-awareness to not let my feelings control me, and my accurate self-awareness to be more objective about myself and don't let me influence by my ego. Let's go to self-management. When we talk about self-management, we talk about the ability to stop when we face something that concerns us, think a little bit before reacting, analyze what's happening, and respond in the healthy way or healthy manner to it. It's not allowing our feelings to control ourselves or actions. It's thinking more objective and taking action with clear mind. Okay, from these competences, self-control, adaptability, and initiative, I feel I'm very good having initiative and taking new opportunities into actions, but I still have to work with my adaptability to be flexible when change arises, and also work a lot in my self-control to remain calm when facing any sort of situation. I'm very good controlling the anger and stress towards someone else, but I still keep those bad feelings inside me, and that's not healthy. So it's something I have to work in. Okay, I realize when I'm going like late to work, for example, I get a lot of anxiety and I cannot really control it. I get all of these obsessive thoughts, even if I know, well, there is nothing to do about it. It's not like I can move all the cars out of my way. So I still get that stress. And after I arrive to work, I notice my mood is different and I cannot perform in the same way. After being conscious of this, I've been trying different methods to control myself and my impulsive feelings, and I've tried to practicing mindfulness. Nowadays, I feel that I have more adaptability to life and I don't let anything let me down. Instead, I try to be more positive about it and accept change faster. As mentioned by Bob Johansen in 2015, a recent study on neuroscience of storytelling found that each of us has a neural story that influences how we see the world. It's like those pre-mindset expectations that we have of life. Those who are open-minded are able to see these different futures and outcomes about every situation because they have neural story nets that are flexible, unlike those who are stuck in their old stories. It's a good idea to systematically consider the future in order to remain open-minded and challenge preconceived notions. This is important to my career since problems will always arise and change is not an option. So if we cannot control what happens in life, well, we should control how we take it and how we react to that. Okay, now let's talk about social awareness. It is key in emotional intelligence. This is the skill that allows you to put yourself in our shoes. This is the skill that let us see life from another perspective and understand how others think, act, and feel. Social awareness encompasses three competencies that are empathy, organizational awareness, and service orientation. From the test results, I could conclude that is not something I should focus a lot of improving since it's one of my strengths, but however, from my self-awareness analysis, I must start working on my social awareness to be successful in my career. Business is, I believe, one of the fields which more require of social awareness. Since in this field you have to be always in contact with customers, suppliers, and people is from all around the globe. It's not always about the same culture, about the same country. So this skill has to be learned because otherwise it will cause a lot of problems in relationship management. Okay, in my experience, since at my workplace is very diverse, we have people from Vietnam, New Zealand, England, Colombia, China, and Australia. Well, we often find ourselves arguing because of just simple misunderstandings because of the language gaps. And we'll all get very stressed and frustrated because we focus on getting somebody to understand us, but what we should do is getting ourselves to understand each other. As mentioned by Business Mirror in 2020, in a lot of studies where the researchers linked the business success with diversity in the workplace, they find out that firms with more diversity, such as race, gender, different background, and culture, have higher sales revenue, more customers, higher profits, and more innovation in their products. So this is so important to have in an enterprise. Now, after social awareness, we have relationship management, which is the ability to connect with others in a healthy way and accepting their differences and similarities and working with them together to achieve any goal. Some of their competencies that we found here is inspirational leadership, developing influence in others, teamwork, collaborations, conflict management, and building bonds. I feel that overall I'm very proficient at all of them, but I'll need to have some work in building bonds skill since I usually take the business relationships pretty formal, but I should recognize the importance of building a real relationship with my coworkers and customers based on trust and also collaboration. This is so important. Well, as I mentioned before, I work in an office with some other persons, and everyone has a different role in the business. When I just started to work there, I could notice that the workload was very hard, and everyone was like always working in their things, and they were always so stressed, and well, obviously mistakes came because of miscommunication. And after some weeks of being there, I got confident and I asked them to have a meeting. During this meeting, I proposed to enhance the relationship with each other, have a little bit more of chatting, and well, being conscious that even if our roles were different, we work for the same enterprise and we should collaborate with each other to enjoy the workplace and the working time. From that moment, the improvement has been huge. It's been 1 year now and the workplace is just wonderful. We enjoy what we do and we enjoy being with each other. Now that I'm aware of my level of emotional intelligence, it's time to take an action in that. Improving my skills. For now, I will start working on my self-control. I think I have to start from myself to being able to actually work for others. Then I will start working my empathy, service orientation, teamwork and collaboration, and well, finally, I hope to get a very good level of emotional intelligence. I think it's one of the most important things and skills you should learn is not always maths or physics, but also knowing how to control ourselves is something very important, and I want to achieve it by the end of this year. Finally, I would like to end this presentation with a quote. If your emotional abilities aren't in hand, if you don't have self-awareness, if you are not able to manage or distressing emotions, if you can't have empathy and have effective relationships, well then no matter how smart you are not going to get very far. That's from Goldman in 1995. Thank you so much.